Why did Jesus have to go down to hell after he died on the cross? His loved ones were heartbroken. They expected his suffering to end and his soul to rise to heaven.
But that is not what happened. For 3 days, he disappeared.
No one knew where he was from that dark Friday until the glorious Resurrection Sunday. What exactly was Jesus doing during those 3 days between death and resurrection? Very few know the answer, but it is hidden in the Bible. The Bible gives mysterious clues about the keys of hell, imprisoned souls, and the dominion of death.
Jesus himself prophesied, "The Son of Man will be in the heart of the earth 3 days and 3 nights."
The phrase, heart of the earth, is a mystery.
But St. Paul clarifies that before rising, he descended into the lower parts of the earth. This reveals a truth. After death, Jesus did not go straight to the Father, but went to a specific place.
But was this place hell? And why did he have to go there?
A mysterious verse explains, "He was put to death in the flesh, but made alive in the spirit."
In which he went and proclaimed to the spirits in prison.
To understand this, we must explore the Jewish concept of that time. This place, called in the heart of the earth, is...
When the Bible mentions Sheol or Hades, it doesn't always refer to the fiery hell of eternal punishment as we often imagine. In Jewish thought, Sheol was the common abode of the dead. Souls of most people.
However, this realm was divided into distinct regions.
And a place of suffering for the wicked, a place of torment.
This helps us understand who the spirits in prison are. They are not demons or fallen angels in this context, but the souls of humans who died before Christ came. They were held captive in death because they could not escape on their own.
They were waiting for a solution.
Jesus, in the Spirit, descended into the depths, not to suffer, but to fulfill a mission of hope.
It was a mission. An infiltration into enemy territory.
The Bible states that the one holding the power of death was the devil, Satan.
He not only tempted the living, but had the authority to keep souls under the power of death.
No one who entered could escape on their own.
So, Jesus descended into the kingdom ruled by his greatest enemy to confront him directly. In the book of Revelation, the risen Jesus declares a decisive victory. "I am the first and the last."
I was dead, and behold,
And I have the keys of Hades and of death.
Keys symbolize power and absolute control. If Satan once held the empire of death, and now Jesus holds the keys, then a confrontation surely took place. Why did Satan have this power? Back in Eden, when Adam and Eve sinned, death entered the world.
Satan, the original tempter, became the holder of the power of death.
But Jesus was different. He was innocent. Death could trap sinners, but it could not hold a sinless man.
The story seemed over, but Satan, though defeated, decided not to surrender.
His power over eternal death was broken.
but his ability to deceive remained.
His first move happened on that very Easter morning.
When the tomb was found empty, the religious leaders bribed the soldiers.
To spread a fake rumor that the disciples had stolen the body.
The strategy was clear. If people do not believe in the resurrection, the victory in Hades becomes meaningless.
The book of Revelation describes Satan as a great dragon filled with fury.
Unable to destroy the Christ, he turned to attack his followers.
This explains the brutal persecution of the early church.
Satan could no longer use death as a permanent prison.
So he used it as a weapon of terror to make people abandon their faith. Therefore, Jesus' victory in Hades did not bring immediate peace on earth,
but marked the beginning of a new spiritual conflict, lasting until Judgment Day. There was another immediate consequence of this victory. At the moment Jesus died, the earth shook and the rocks split. The tombs broke open. The bodies of many holy people who had died were raised to life. They came out of the tombs after Jesus' resurrection and went into the holy city.
and they appeared to many people.
This event was a visible sign of the victory happening in the unseen realm.
The Lord's descent into hell is so significant that it was included in the Apostles' Creed. This is one of the oldest confessions of the Christian faith.
It states, "He was crucified, died, and was buried. He descended into hell, and the third day he rose again."
Although the phrase "descended into hell" was not in the earliest versions.
It appeared from the 4th century to remove any doubt that he truly held the keys of Hades.
Another ancient text, the Athanasian Creed, written to combat heresies,
Also clearly affirms, "He suffered for our salvation, descended into hell, and rose again the third day."
This belief is central to the Christian faith.
A detail often discussed. Jesus spoke words of assurance to the repentant man beside him.
Today, you will be with me in paradise. There is a popular ancient text from the Middle Ages called the Gospel of Nicodemus.
It dramatically describes Jesus breaking the gates of hell,
Binding Satan and pulling Adam and the Old Testament saints out of the darkness.
Lord, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Truly, today you will be with me in paradise.
On the cross, Jesus promised the repentant thief.
Today, you will be with me in paradise.
If Jesus' soul went to Hades, how could he be in paradise that same day?
The answer lies in the Jewish concept. The word paradise at that time was also used to describe Abraham's bosom.
It was the peaceful section of Hades, reserved for the righteous.
It was an oasis of peace in the midst of the realm of the dead.
Jesus promised that their souls would meet in that resting place that very day, before he made his conquest.
He came to bring the good news to those who had waited for centuries. A paradise hidden in the heart of the earth. The promise was kept.
But this arrangement was about to change forever.
After the resurrection, the structure of death remained.
But the ultimate destruction is reserved for the end of days. The lake of fire. Revelation describes the great white throne, where death and Hades delivered up the dead in them to be judged.
Their ultimate destruction is reserved for the end of days.
Then death and Hades were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death, eternal destruction.
But are human souls the only prisoners?
The Bible mentions angels who did not keep their proper domain, but rebelled. God has reserved them in everlasting chains under darkness for the judgment of the great day.
When Jesus descended to Hades, he did not go to rescue these fallen angels, but to pronounce their sentence. Their leader, Satan, has been defeated. The mission was accomplished. It was time to return.
Sunday morning arrived. And life returned.
St. Paul used the language of the Roman military to describe this victory.
He disarmed principalities and powers. He made a public spectacle of them, triumphing over them in it.
The image is like a general marching in victory, leading defeated enemies to public shame. The early Christians saw this event as the fulfillment of ancient prophecy.
King David wrote in Psalm 16, "For you will not leave my soul in Sheol."
Peter used this very verse in his first sermon to prove Jesus is the Messiah. Also, Ephesians says, when he ascended on high, he led captivity captive.
He led a train of vanquished foes and gave gifts to men.
Different traditions interpret this event in different ways, some literal, some symbolic. Many Protestants view descent into hell as a metaphor for his ultimate spiritual suffering. Regardless, this belief remains the heart of Holy Week. Holy Saturday is a day of silence.
While the body of Jesus lay in the tomb, his spirit was winning a war in the dark.
He was on a mission of liberation.
This story of angels, keys, and kingdoms is not just ancient theology. It teaches us a crucial lesson. The resurrection on Sunday morning was not the beginning of victory, but the public announcement of a battle already won in the dark. Because of this, death is no longer a wall, but has become a corridor, a passageway into God's presence. The gates of Hades have been broken. Jesus descended to the deepest depths out of love to prepare a way for us.
But the story of Satan is not over yet. He lost the keys, but he is still prowling the earth.
Why does God allow him to exist until today? The answer will be in the next video.
Hit subscribe so you don't miss other fascinating secrets.